Arwe Legate and the victorious legion. Few legions have earned their names as thoroughly as yours. The price of victory is paid in blood. Legio Ferrata arrived and was disbanded a week ago. I trust by now you know the procedure. You have to discuss certain things with your companions, no doubt. Let me know when you're ready.
Tell me, why do we not just march whole legion into Rome and push Lurco off throne? It has special chair for man in charge, does it not? Call it what you will. It is not a thing to be done lightly. You have chance now to make things better. Rome is not as I had hoped, before I saw it with my own eyes. There is so much squalor and suffering. In wild, it is possible for man to have dignity, even in poverty. In city, this is not so. Change is nothing to be feared. Sometimes it brings improvement, sometimes destruction. But status quo is so destructive already. Anyway, I don't think I will stay here after we are done. It's time for me to face my past and move on.
This is a bad idea. Last time I saw Lurco, he was angry, but he was not in a panic. There's another trick up his sleeve. I'm certain of it. There is always a way. The years I've spent with you taught me that over and over again. It's what I would do. Lurco is a dangerous foe because he knows exactly when to lie and when to tell the truth. He will tell the Senate that we have murdered his entire Praetorian Guard. You know that's not a lie. I've seen no evidence to suggest the man has one. People will still be able to oppose you, and this time you'll have to kill a lot of people, not just those who deserve it. I wouldn't count on that. The world is full of foolish people. I'm good at killing people, and you somehow keep attracting people in need of killing. What I've done for you still seems less than what you've done for me.
We are at the end now. I think we have enough evidence to get that bastard exiled forever. We will stride into the Pomerium as civilians once more, with pride in our eyes. That is not an option. We'll need to make sure everyone understands what happened. We cannot count on the facts to speak for themselves. They will certainly take some convincing. It is unfortunate that we had to kill a few Praetorians. But let us not forget the fact that they were criminals. What do you mean? Walk into Rome with swords in our hands? That would make us look like villains. Indeed, that whole mess with Lucia taught me that. So then the question is what you prefer, the truth or what's written. It's been a pleasure, genuinely. You always stood by my side, even if it was against your own interests. I will never forget that.
Domine? Your frustration is natural, but I think the personal stakes involved cloud your mind. Surely you have solved more difficult riddles in your life. Know that we have done all we can. It is time to cast the die and see how it lands. I am no advocate, but when it comes to evidence, I doubt we can get more or better. If it isn't, there is not much we can do anyway. I have lived a full and bountiful life. This old man has witnessed so many things. I've found everything I've been looking for. Death is not to be feared. Young man, I've been taking care of your family since long before you were born. Now focus on the task ahead and make sure they never need me again. If you think I've been following you because I'm your sowers, you're still a child in mind. I've been free for a long time now.
We should move. Ask yourself, what is my enemy doing right now? He who is on the offensive always has the advantage. I'm a warrior, not a strategist. I simply think we should act now while we have the initiative. He who strikes first usually wins. Then we shall suffer, but it will not be due to your actions. I am no simple service. We chose to follow you, whether we like it or not. A man carves his own destiny. If I shall suffer as a result, so be it. I am not in your place, and for that I am happy. You are not my enemy. Lurko is. If I was Lurko, I would try to kill you now. He has everything to lose if he does not. I am a free man. I do not follow. Our paths simply aligned. That is why I was there. I am here now, am I not?
Shall we store your weapons at the villa, as usual? What do you mean? You can't enter Rome with your legion? It's simply not done. If you decide to do this, you'll be a villain. No one will be able to stop you.
I will. I followed you everywhere, done everything you asked of me. And by Jupiter, everyone in this legion knows I will follow you to the darkest depths of Tartarus if needs be. But this is where I draw the line. I shall not be your partner in crime if you intend to attack the very fabric of our society. Rome is a republic of its people. The consequences of your actions will revert centuries of progress. I refuse to be a part of that. You'd be setting a dangerous precedent for all aspiring tyrants in the future. Being virtuous is easy when moral actions benefit you. Everyone's good and kind when it's convenient. What reveals one's character is what you do when it's not convenient. Cross the Rubicon this way, and I can no longer stand by your side. That is unfortunate.
It seems you have reached a decision. Very well. For a moment I had my doubts about you. For that I apologize.
Right. Let's go celebrate that we all made it back alive. First round is on me.
You can't defend yourself on an empty stomach. Eat up.
Let me taste it first, as usual.
Now that you're back from another war, what do you want to do next?
That is a nice thought, and I'm sure you will do well. But it is not over yet. May I remind you, Lurko is still the consul.
Kikero and I will meet you in the Senate tomorrow morning to prepare for the trial.
Speak as if your life depends on it. In many ways, it may.
It is a good day, my friend. I've been thinking. You've done the right thing by not crossing the Rubicon with the Legion. It's bigger than you or me. Our republic is built on certain pillars. To remove just one such pillar might destroy our society. Callida was a bit preoccupied. She's concerned about Corvinus. You know that sneaky bastard is still unaccounted for. They won't. The Senate is a virtuous and wise institution. They'll see the truth of the matter. Kikero is probably the best advocate in the Republic, and he's the consul. But what do I know? I'm just a soldier. I hope you're right.
What's on your mind? Your cause is just, and I believe we can convince the Senate. However, our opponent is devious. That worries me. I worry that he will not obey the will of the Senate if the result fails to be in his favor. Will you obey the Senate if you lose? A rhetorical one. I knew you would give that answer. If it were not, our republic would be doomed. Those with the greatest power must be under the most exacting scrutiny. But to answer the question in the spirit I think it was asked, we have Kikero on our side, the second consul. This sort of situation is precisely why there are two.
You look concerned. Children should never have to worry about their parents. Worry only about yourself. I'll be fine. That monster tore my family apart. Killed my husband and my dearest friend. I just hope they make him suffer. That is a lovely thought, dear. But I'm not sure what he will do if he's no longer our Servus. That's a lovely thought. I don't think so, dear. Somebody needs to run the house, and I need to prepare a feast for our guests. His cooking is too complex, too flavorful, too Greek. Romans need Roman food.
You should get some rest. Tomorrow's trial will require you to have your wits about you. Those who try to predict the future will only make a laughing stock of themselves. Those who are prepared for all eventualities win in the end. It was not only my duty, but my pleasure as well. Your father made me promise to take care of you, no matter what. Looking at you now, I can only feel pride. I've been through much, but I have to admit, these days I feel old. I think I want to see my homeland again. To tell you the truth, I feel like I'm ready to die. It would be nice to see Halicarnassos again first. Thank you.
We will have order in the Senate now! Debating the clarity of the augury will not be productive. The consul himself stands accused. Nothing could be of higher importance. Any other relationes shall be set aside. The result of this relatio again shall be decided per discussionem, and before the sun sets. You may continue, consul, but please, refrain from delving deeper into matters completely unrelated to our discussion.
Naturally. May I restate the necessity of using my actual title, Dictator, instead of Consul? Your approval is appreciated, but unnecessary. The title was granted to me by the people of Rome, and I shall use it for as long as Rome is threatened.
Your title was granted for a limited time in order to solve a crisis. Even though the time has not passed, we can certainly say the crisis exists no more.
I beg to differ. The crisis has evidently not passed. It has merely changed context. Allow my colleague Senator Antonius to display with clarity how unprecedented and absurd this relatio is.
Dear Senators, first let us consider the source and the spirit of the regulation that allows us to appoint a consul to the position of dictator. And yet, despite all this, we somehow ended up here accusing the very man who was tasked with the prevention of this crisis.
Thank you, Senator, for this detailed and above all long explanation of something we all knew. Our memories have been thoroughly refreshed. If that will be all, we will finally discuss the evidence presented against the consul. Let us consider the preponderance of indications suggesting your involvement in the Mithridates affair years ago. At the time, you claimed to have no knowledge of your brother's corrupt and treasonous activities. But it is clear now that this wasn't entirely accurate.
I do not like what you're insinuating. My brother died for his crimes, if you remember. Do you mean to say that he was wrongly accused? And what did I do to divert the attention of the Senate? Kill my own brother? Tell me, Legate. Do you have any other far-fetched theories?
I admit, the accusation is rather weak. It implies the Senate can be fooled, and that the consul used fratricide to merely distract people. Do you have a counter-witness, Dictator?
I am the most important counter-witness here. Let me tell you my side of the story. Therefore, you cannot connect my activities to that war. In fact, it is fair to say my alleged relationship with Mithridates was only in the service of Rome.
Somehow, fair wasn't the word that came to mind. Shall we perhaps talk about the infamous invasion of Egypt?
Infamous is the correct word for it. The Legatus ignited a war in a land that was already a province of Rome. He brought chaos and terror to Africa.
The way I see it, he installed law and order, and saw to it that the rightful queen of the people now sits on the throne.
I must protest. This is highly unusual, having a foreign ruler comment on our internal affairs. And I suppose we have to take you on your word for that accusation too.
Of course not, because that's where I come in.
We're listening, Queen Cleopatra.
Of course you are. Now I shall tell you how your dictator redirected taxes paid by our people into his coffers, and how he managed to get both his accountant and proconsul murdered in the process.
A chilling account, Your Majesty. Thank you for your testimony.
Once more, I must direct your attention to the utter lack of credible witnesses. Neither this legendary ledger nor the fictional accountant who wrote it are anywhere to be seen.
Then explain your presence in Alexandria at the time of the battle. Why would Ptolemy, who at the time was waging war against Rome, be on friendly terms with you?
I was trying to clean up the diplomatic mess created by your legatus. I wasn't. But, in the end, I salvaged the whole campaign. Ptolemy would have easily killed you all.
I wonder how you know these things. So Ptolemy had no reason to keep you alive, yet somehow he did. Very interesting. Let us end by discussing the recent campaign against the barbarians of Gallia. You did kill members of the dictator's Praetorian Guard, didn't you, Legate?
And pray tell, why would my Praetorian Guard attack you?
Indeed, why would one Praetorian Guard attack another? Enlighten us, Dictator.
Is that for me to answer? He should answer first.
I see.
I see Senator Antonius has something to add.
Oh, right. I thank you for this opportunity to talk about the history of foreign leaders being represented at the Senate. First of all,
once again, thank you for your detailed explanation of this important issue, Senator. Shall we finally proceed to decide now?
We certainly shall not. The sun has set and a decision was not reached. I believe this relatio is to be declared undecided.
Dictator Lurko is correct, Legate. A decision has to be reached by sunset. And if not, the relatio will be undecided. But in light of the overwhelming and damning evidence against the dictator, I believe this relatio deserves a proper decision. We reconvene tomorrow at sunrise for the final decision. This shall give the dictator a fair chance to defend himself. One final time. This session is at an end.
Let's wait until everyone has left, so we can talk to Kikoro in private.
I admit, I was rooting for you. But you really did defend your case excellently. Tomorrow's hearing will be a formality. You've pretty much won.
What you're doing is unexpected, but admirable nevertheless. It seems you're not beyond redemption when it comes to the morality of your actions. However, I want to be certain that you understand the gravity of what you've done. You have murdered the Praetorian Guard of a sitting consul. There may yet be consequences.
Death comes to all eventually. One cannot outpace it. Its messenger is neither exempt nor preferred from its touch.
Despite his futile stalling, you've made it clear to everyone that Ortelius Lurko's war in Gallia was nothing but a power grab.
At this point, it would be a stretch. Not to mention, it would imply that another senator had started a war under his watch. Not exactly admirable governing. It's best to refrain from mentioning these accusations unless we can prove them. Compared to the level of treason implied, the murder of 2 Romans seems trivial. Should he repeat his accusations of murder, it is my hope to use precisely this argument to shield you from them.
I will act as if I'd never heard these words.
We should only consider such actions as a last resort, for I believe our position is strong. After our work today, our victory is all but certain.
What do you have there?
Food for the Legatus and his friends.
Let me have a taste.
It's for the Domini only.
My Dominus does not eat anything until I've tasted it.
Well, alright then.
Delicious.
That's odd. I haven't ordered any food to be brought here.
There is no eating in the Senate.
Oh, excuse me. I feel dizzy all of a sudden. There is an odd taste to this food.
Sit down, if you feel unwell.
I can't breathe.
The food was poisoned. Where did that sower go?
He will not have counted on poison alone.
Armed men have entered the forum.
We brought your weapons.
Oh, man. He's dead. Lurko. I shall skin your back and lay you on salt. I shall feed your cock to street dogs.
Marlon! Grieve later, Bestia! They're here!
Still alive. Make sure no one escapes.
time for this. Deal with them!
This is all too easy.
Go on, hit me again. See what happens. We are nearly done. Go! Get the last one!
Get away from me!
Corvinus! That honorless piece of shit! He got away!
Your mother is alone. We must hurry. Knowing Corvinus, he will either go there next, or he'll send someone for her.
He's dead.
I'm sorry. He was a good man. My friend. Your mother.
Meet us in the Regia when your family is safe. Our dear Pontifex, Maximus Aurelius Cotta, will be good to have on our side.
We have basically already won. This attack represents a clear legal victory.
Marcus, this is not the time.
Short arrows. The guards were attacked from afar. We may be too late.
They killed everyone. The villa is burning! She sought shelter in the study, just like last time. The consul himself? Certainly not. Most of them already left. There are still 4 in the garden. Should I inform the authorities? I shall run as fast as my legs will take me.
What a sight. How long do you think it'll take to burn down?
It'll burn long into the night. That's for sure.
Should we be worried about it spreading to the adjacent buildings?
Nah, that's not our problem. I'm more concerned about the proprietor showing up to put out the fire.
That posh prick already lies dead on the Senate floor. On the orders of Consul Vivius Vitellius Lurco, you are all under arrest. You're accused of murder and treason. Your sentence is death.
Since when do mere lictors have the power to sentence a Roman citizen to death?
Do not make this more difficult than it needs to be.
We really caught those thugs off guard.
If they expected mercy, they should not have started fire here.
Your mother is trapped in there. We have to get her out.
Use the water from the fountain to douse the flames.
Everyone, fill your water jugs from the fountain. We have to keep those flames at bay.
Please, is anyone still alive? Help!
Oh, thank Juno. Please, get me out of here! Everyone's dead. They had no mercy. They butchered the Serwi. Oh, I am bleeding.
You need help. Get her to a physician.
Of course I can. Everyone must hear about what happened here today.
Did you think they struck her by accident in passing?
Calada. Perhaps they were trying to incapacitate her. Or maybe they were merely incompetent. He's keeping us on the defensive. We need to regroup and strike back.
Strike 2 birds with 1 stone and take her to the Regia. Cato and Cicero are waiting for you there, and the Vestal Virgins can treat Claudiana.
You are alive. Forgive me. We've heard the unthinkable has happened, and Lorco tried to assassinate your family. I could not believe my ears when Cato told me about Lorco's betrayal. This shall not go unpunished. I shall keep her in the temple. No harm will come to her. You have my word. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but this is a matter of family and friendship.
You will need to come up with a very good reason for doing this.
I'd like to see him try.
What if he comes back for us? I don't believe anyone close to you is safe.
Your faith is inspiring.
We need to seize the initiative. Corwinus can't be too far away. As long as he's in the wind, we can't be safe.
Maybe, but it'll take some time, and we don't have much to spare.
I know where he is.
Maybe I can ask some of my friends in the Senate. Lurko must have allies, and perhaps some of them know a few things.
Highly unlikely. Chances are not even Lurko knows where that man is.
I know where he is.
An augury might reveal his location.
Will we set a chicken loose in the streets of Rome and hope that it guides us to him? Hardly.
I know where he is!
All right, there's no need to yell.
He is at Campus Martius, hiding with a group of gladiators he has hired. We can go there and get him. These are men I have fought beside in the arena, who looked up to me once. I am certain. What if it is? Do we have a choice? He killed my Magister. I will make no promises.
Lucius Erucius Corwinus!
We're here! Come out and play!
The entire ensemble is here. I guess you're ready for the final act. I have to admit, I'm impressed. I did not expect you to be able to find this place. This isn't the first time I've underestimated that Belatro. Taking out the old man wasn't my intention. He died in your stead. If anything, I'd say you killed him. Lurko has said that very same thing about you on many occasions.
of me, and I shall slay many of your foes.
Oh, was that as painful as it looked?
Just one more. Should not be any trouble.
me. There is strength in unity.
So, you need my help after all? catch, you big baby.
I shall rise again. Perhaps I need someone to help me here.
You're welcome.
Why you are still standing?
Still standing. Impressive.
Didn't see that coming, huh?
I will skin your face and drink from your skull.
A charming notion, but improbable. May I propose a different option?
There are no options. You will die now.
Or we can be sensible about this and keep him alive. He probably knows a lot about Lorco's plans. Besides, Corwinus is a capable and smart warrior. He'd be useful to us. Killing him will serve no purpose.
It will bring me great satisfaction.
Finally, we can stop watching our backs. Corwinus, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of this man and the actual murder of his service. You're coming with us. Corvinus is inside. His attitude has become quite a bit more cooperative overnight. He will talk if he survives, meaning if we can restrain Bestia. We all have different ways of dealing with grief. I've sent him away. He's probably drowning his sorrows in wine now. The consul has announced that he wants to question this criminal himself, so I expect him to send some of his lictors our way. We are prepared for them. Always. She was supposed to be here. I don't know what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Everything is silent. He whimpers like a wounded dog. But silence is in the air. He tried to lick me. His tongue is, but not all his teeth. He is not worth saving. He is caught. He is evil. Does not matter if he dies. He deserves eternal torment. Fine.
Well, here we go again. You want to try your hand at torturing me as well? And if I don't want to answer? I doubt that. Ask then. Let's get this over with. For too long, he hired me back when he assumed control of Weeksy. Of course not. Weeksy existed in one form or another for hundreds of years. Felix is only the latest of its commanders. I'm no fanatic, though. He merely hired me as a contingency. I am loyal to my contract. Besides, all of his loyal guards are dead, thanks to you. If I have to choose between loyalty and death, I don't have to ponder my options for long. It's not just money. Lurko is a very intelligent man, and I respect that. He plans ahead, and he rarely leaves things to chance. It is the first serious misstep I have ever seen him make. You have got him powerfully rattled. That's why he will never face you in the Senate. That's why he sent me to assassinate you at last. Not out of any personal animosity. With Marcellus and his useless brutes gone, it was up to me to finish the job. You asked the right question. He still has many allies in high places. Why would he risk it, indeed? My job was simply to get rid of you. The consul obviously hoped you'd get yourself killed in Gallia. I guess this was his contingency plan. You of all people should know that warfare is about positioning. Once you can cover any possible move your foe might make, victory is a natural outcome. Merely by trying to win from such a position, your enemy defeats himself. Anger won't serve you well against this man. Look, I'm getting bored of this. We both know you're not going to kill me, and I've told you all I know. Frankly, none of this is any use to you. For all I know, me getting caught is part of Lurko's plan. So, hand me over to the authorities and let me face charges. Let's see. What do you have to offer? A fine argument. But there's one problem with that. I just don't think you're going to win.
I do, please.
Marlon.
No problem. We will make him disappear.
Keep your wits about you out there, my friend.
Did he talk?
That is unfortunate.
What do we do now?
This is so unlike him. Usually he has a plan. I wonder if the whole Corvinus business was a distraction. Distraction from what?
Expired,
Cato will not be pleased.
I took precautions. The Consul of Rome cannot leave the city unnoticed. I thought they'd be with you. I haven't seen any of your companions since yesterday.
Come to think of it, Cato wanted to meet us here too. But he's late. He should be here any moment now. Don't worry. Cato is a smart man who knows how to handle a gladius.
There he is.
Your Praetorian Guard is captured in front of the Senate. We must hurry. It seems he has them arrested for a number of crimes.
He is still dictator. He can do whatever he wants.
I fear there is nothing we can do to stop him within the bounds of the law.
I'll try to gather some Praetores. This is blatantly illegal, but I guess he's finally given up all pretense.
He is desperate. Be very careful. Desperate men do stupid things.
Political theater. He has gathered a crowd and he's calling you out. You must be very careful. The lives of your friends are at stake.
I'll come with you to witness the situation.
Keep him occupied until I can bring help. Don't antagonize him.
I will come with you as well. The Vestal Virgins will look after your mother.
Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It is merely a proscription, no different from Sulla's purge. These are all traitors against the Republic, and I am well within my rights to kill them all and seize everything they own. You always worked against me, when the only thing I wanted was to build a strong Rome. Just like your father, you are envious of what I will achieve. Great works are built on bloodshed. Sacrifices must be made.
Then make your sacrifice yourself, coward.
Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is bullshit! Those people are heroes!
They've done nothing wrong! Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko. Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens. They're afraid.
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. But fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The Legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
You still fail to think like a warrior. Your foe is in front of you. Strike him down and be done with it.
He can't kill us. He doesn't have the balls to do something like that. He knows he will be condemned.
I look forward to seeing my sister again, and to tell her that I am sorry. My only regret is to die at the hands of such a pathetic man.
I've shed blood in the name of Rome since the day I was born, and today shall be no different. Let him execute us, if that's what it takes to save the Republic. You shall take care of them, and they can be proud of
Enough! Make your decision. As you wish. Who shall we take first?
Get it over with. Take me first. Then at least I won't have to listen to your drivel any longer.
I can't let you do that. He loves you. Your death would break his heart. Take me instead, Lurko. I have nothing to lose save my honor, and that you can never take from me.
Don't do it! This isn't justice!
I decide what is just. Execute him.
You piece of shit, Lurko! Kaizo had done nothing wrong. He was a good man!
A traitor to the Republic has been brought to justice. I truly wonder what you will do now. I'm a man of my word. Witnesses? Who's going to hold me responsible? I am dictator in perpetuo!
This is sick! It's an atrocity!
What's next? Will you have Pompeius executed too?
Calm yourselves! People of Rome, I am you... Don't you understand? A firm hand is what the Republic needs!
Despot! Tyrant! Down with him!
Get him! Put him down from there!
Get me out of here! Just get me out!
You're on your own, Kotso.
Coward!
Webius Vitellius Lurko, you're not going anywhere! Throw yourself at the mercy of the Senate!
You can't do this. You don't have the authority. Don't you dare!
Now that is a style of rhetorics I can get behind.
You won. My friend, you did it.
I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. It is good to see you up and about, though. You look better.
Such things are natural. You've been tested physically and mentally. Furthermore, you've triumphed over your opponent. That much is certain. Your friends did not give their lives in vain.
Small consolation to Kaizo's family.
A meaningful death is more than any soldier can hope for.
Lurko will certainly be exiled, or even executed. The Senate doesn't have a high opinion of traitors. Obviously, you will have to testify. There were accusations on both sides. The Senate must hear your side of the story.
If you will forgive me for bringing this up, I believe this will be good for your political career. You should measure yourself against the best of consuls, not the worst. As far as the Senate is concerned, you are a tragic hero who brought a corrupt consul to justice. Regardless of what happens to Lurko, Rome will need a new consul, and I can't think of a better candidate.
Cato is right. Both the Optimates and the Populares already support you. If you run for Senate, the election will result in a landslide win.
I have no doubts.
You did save them. Those who remain alive have you to thank for it. This chapter ends, and another chapter begins. Fortuna alone knows what the future holds.
So ends the abridged history of one of the most beloved consuls of the Republic of Rome. It is thanks to him and his efforts to thwart the corruption and ambition of Vitellius Lurco that Rome remains a proud republic to this day. With his allies in the Senate, he worked tirelessly to address the problems that had plagued the Republic since its birth. Though many among the people of Rome lamented what they saw as a lost opportunity to challenge the status quo, the strengthening of democracy greatly improved life throughout the provinces of Rome. In time, the savior of the Republic took his well-deserved place in history among such heroes as Cincinnatus or Scipio Africanus. Cineros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cineros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Caeso had always known that his would be a bloody, violent end, but he could not have foreseen the singular importance his death would play in saving the Republic he had always served. Never has a common soldier been named as a hero of the Republic, and have that honor ring quite so true. His funeral was attended by hundreds of men who had served beneath or beside him, most of whom, in one way or another, owed him their lives. Perhaps all this was small consolation to his daughter, who had to grow up without a father. But at least she and her mother were well cared for by all the people who were proud to have called Caeso Quinctius Aquilinus their friend. Callida's second marriage turned out considerably better than her first. With her beloved husband committed to letting her live her best life, she was happy to settle down by his side, supporting him in his endeavors as he supported her. Callida was happy to find that it was possible to be a wife and a mother without giving up the things she loved. She taught their children archery and horseback riding, and nobody ever again looked down on her for her unwomanly pursuits. Bestia stayed in Rome and remained close friends with his old companions, going out of his way to stay in touch with them all, no matter the distance that separated them. He returned to the arena, but no longer as a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the story of his old magister Cineros. Though it brought him little wealth, there is no doubt it made him happy. In time, Bestia came to see the killing of his sister as a mistake, rather than a mercy. The guilt followed him for the rest of his life. Once everything had settled down, Deianira returned to her homeland in Schervia, where she reconnected with her family. She brought some of them with her back to Rome, where they settled into a life of luxury. Though they would never feel quite at home in the city, they found that it was much easier to be outsiders together than alone. Deianira always remained loyal to her friends. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Licinia. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as Quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army. But the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end, Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Without the leadership of Damianos, the rebellion of his gladiators soon spiraled out of control, beginning what became known as the Servile War. Escaped slaves terrorized the Roman citizens throughout Thracia until the wealthy senator Crassus brutally defeated them and crucified thousands along the road towards Rome. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwytirchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arverni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. In his darkest moods, the savior of Rome must have wondered if there was anything he could have done differently to save his friends. Perhaps if he had struck down Vitellius Lurco on that stage, or if he had gone so far as to bring his legion across the Rubicon, none of his companions would have had to die. But for those of us left to live in a peaceful and strong republic, what transpired seems like the best possible outcome. Our republic was saved, and the villain, Vitellius Lurco, was brought to justice. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.